Welcome to another video in the review Advent Calendar 2022. This time around I'm going to review Fantôme Iris' Rhapsodia. This is a song suggested by two people. This time around it was suggested by Tomofeli and Naz. That's a massive choir to kick in, and it gives you a sense of scale because the choir is really far in the back as that dramatic grand piano starts playing. The air is really it's setting that tone really dark. Nice swell. I forgot to say strap in because this song is really long. The choir is in canon, ha 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 ha, and they are mismatched, creating a sense of, I would say, a sense of confusion in a way. In a way, it sounds like Atsushi Sakurai from Baroque. It's uncanny for me. Ooh, those timpani building up the song to the choir yet again. Such a nice touch, really smooth, and really making sure that this tone that is being created, this whole eerie vibe that is being created is really well done and not rushed at all. Clock ticking. It has a lot of legato in that performance. That performance is really begging for legato. The way that it was set for that vocal performance to be as it demands legato. And Arthur Lounsbery is actually delivering a lot of legato in there. Is making sure that he is prolonging those notes and he's prolonging those words and making it sound even somber, more emotional and pensive in a way. I like how he was struggling with that legato and then he had a word that had to be said really fast, torawareta. And it broke the rhythm for a little bit, but he got into the rhythm yet again really fast. It's almost like you were taken to a ball. The piano is now beautiful, it's not eerie anymore, and there's a layer of beauty in the way that the song is presenting itself to you. Now everything is perked up, now everything is in a major scale. Oh, that note by Arthur. Oh, so good. that's him rising on a scale, holding the notes in legato, and then wrapping it up with a little bit of vibrato just to deal you an emotional blow. He does it so well. He sings in such a clean way that I've grown so fond of that style of his. Is singing as a whole. And in this performance, he really shows his chops as a singer because he is performing a really tricky song. I do not recommend this song for anyone on karaoke because of the amount of legato that it requires and the amount of air you need to bring into this song. It's not an easy one to pull off. It's really slow deliberately, and that slow pace can actually be really tricky to pull off, especially with legato. So he's really doing an awesome job, and then when he rises on that scale and rises the tension the most he can and wraps it up with the vibrato, it's the cherry on top for me. So the first act of the song is wrapped up, and you need to pay attention to the fact that Rhapsodia is a song that has acts. So the first act is somber, melancholic in a way. It is almost longing for something or an experience or someone. And then you arrive to a ball, then everything is beautiful, everything is perky, everything is glamorous in a way, refined in its presentation. But you still have that longing in the vocals, because the vocals continue to be focused on that legato. But now things are really different, and we're now in the second act, and welcome to the full band. Notice the vocals. So now the song is dirty as hell. Now we are in that twisted side of nothing really worked, and now this is as angsty as it can get. And you have muffled vocals, the guitars are really dirty with a lot of overdrive and gated in some way. And the drums are almost a mix of live drums and drum and bass samples. Really focus on the hi-hats, and the hi-hats have really a lot of distortion. The whole song now has distortion going on, and it will, of course, lead to something, and you need to listen to this song to actually understand what is that something. Notice that beauty yet again. The beauty arrives whenever the chorus is getting closer, and you have that piano, the bright piano, the grand piano being brought in to this performance to add a little bit of beauty to a song that otherwise would be too fatalistic, too dramatic for most people's tastes. The way he rose those notes, it was not expected, and those arrive out of nowhere, but it's such a nice touch that the vocal direction went that way, and that Arthur Lounsbery can't pull that off. Yes. It's so fatalistic. Of course, this is the theme about or around Fantôme Iris' songs. It is the fatalism about love and all that idea of the gothic that is really refined and beautiful, but with a lot of darkness underneath. You do have all of those elements in this song so far, and I do love how this song progresses. It's really visual kei at its finest. That's the type of visual kei, the emotional type of visual kei that I really enjoy. It's not over the top emotional, because there's a time and place for everything, and right here we have everything in the right measures. Notice how the choir from the very first act is still there, but in the background, but more urgent, more intense, and more frequent in this part. That drama that I was talking about now is developing in a spoken part, almost like fan service, almost like a compliment to the song, to the story, and showing that tragic story by that vampire that wants a dream to come true. But, of course, as you can tell by the tone, it's not necessarily coming true, is it? My only if about this song is the usage of drum and bass in this song. If this song had less drum and bass and focused a little bit on having more live drums, more intense live drums, you wouldn't necessarily need to be trashing the drums, but it would have worked a bit better in terms of the way the emotions are conveyed to the listener. I feel like the EDM parts, the drum and bass addition in the drums, actually takes away some of the emotion that is going on in the vocals, and that is complemented, of course, by the guitars, the strings, and the choir. So there's a missed chance right there of having the song a little bit cleaner and more incisive in that part with less EDM, but that's just a personal preference right here. The power in his vocals, the vibrato, impressive. The guitars are really screaming, and right now you are seeing that story unfold, and you now know that it is tragic as hell. Nothing really worked in the end. It's just a Rhapsodia. Yeah, less electronica in here. Yeah, the song really missed a chance of having less electronica and be more intense or more impactful without that. But, well, it is personal preference in this case. I do not know about what you think of this song. Perhaps it works well for you. For me, it would have less electronica and it would sound 10 times better. So, Rhapsodia, wow. Rhapsodia is actually a grounded type of song that is really, really emotional, tragic in a way, but of course fatalism is part of the sound that Fantôme Iris brings to the spotlight, and I do love it a whole lot. It fits their aesthetic, it fits Arthur Lounsbery's voice, and it fits the sound of the band. Of course, this is a song with two acts. The first act really slow paced and may turn off some people because it takes quite some time to actually pick up the pace and take you to this part of the story. Of course, it is essential for you to understand the story that is unfolding. It is a retelling of the past, and then you are in the present, and the present is distorted, is dirty, is really something that you couldn't deal with, but you have to deal with because that's the result of that relationship, or what could have been of that relationship. Let's talk about Arthur Lounsbery and how versatile as a singer he is. He's actually performing a bit on a different scale of his. He's performing slightly in fa baritone, which is of course the vocal range that most singers in visual kei rock use, even if most singers in the visual kei rock scene are actually tenors. So it is a nice bit of trivia in case you do not know. I do enjoy a whole lot the way that he is confident about his performance. You can tell that he's really, really in his element when he's performing rock, and it doesn't sound detached from his performance. He's actually adding a lot of emotion in there, and he makes sure that you are always paying attention to the performance because he manages to add something different every time that a new part in the song kicks in. He adds a flourish, he adds some vibrato, he goes for legato, and then a really quick part to complement that legato, and then he's back to legato. So he's making sure that you are paying full attention to the song from start to finish, given that this song is quite long, and that you are paying attention to the story unfolding. Of course, the technicality in his performance is off the charts. I've said it early on in this review that he's doing a little bit of everything, and this song, due to having a lot of legato, really slow legato, makes it really tricky to sing because you need to have a really good lungs to actually tackle this song, and of course, really good control over your vocals and the flow of air when you are performing. Otherwise, you can't perform that legato fully, and even having extra air to perform what is left for you to actually deliver. So this is a really tricky song to perform. I do not find it easy at all. So props to Arthur Lounsbery for performing this song in such a way that sounds almost effortless when it is so tricky. And of course, this is my kind of jam because it is rock. It is a really grounded style of rock, and it has a really interesting story that you can and are welcome to dive into in more detail than I did, of course. So this is my take on Fantôme Iris' Rhapsodia. This is a song suggested by, and let me check the names because this time around there were two people suggesting this song. This was a song suggested by Tomofeli and Naz. So thank you very much for participating, and for those of you that watched this episode, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.